Okay, so the purpose for this video is to go over the components of the Graco independent heated hose. So this first item here is the 50-foot hose, and you should know that each component has literature, and you should look over the literature on each component. But we'll give you a quick overdraft. This end gets connected to the pump. These will get connected to the control module. This end gets connected to the 10-foot whip, and these are the actual heating elements. So they need to be fished through the 10-foot whip. At the end of the whip, these fittings are put on, and as you look inside, they have a mesh, and it acts as a stop so that the heating elements don't protrude past these fittings. There's one for the A side, one for the B side. The next item that's going to go on, this is your temperature sensing unit. This has a thermocoupler that gets put down inside the hose. This will go on the A side. And this is the connector, as you can see, to tell the unit when to turn the heat on and off. This is the actual control module. This will bolt up underneath the pump. They give you a new bottom cover, so the control module gets connected to the plate then gets bolted to the cover, and the cover gets bolted up underneath the pump. So, this, as you'll see, was attached to the 50-foot hose. This is the actual element that heats up to warm the material. So, this has to be put into 10-foot whip. But before we do that, this is the thermocoupler and the temperature sensing unit. We can tighten that up later. This will go into the red side of the 50-foot hose. This is a spacer to help even out the hoses because of the thermocoupler. So you have to insert the wire element. Put it this way. Through the spacer. And the best idea is to pull the hose taut. And put this through. Keep feeding it in until you get to the 50-foot hose. Make your connections tight. And then you do the same thing on the red side. Put the heating element through the pressure sensor. Alright, so after you've installed the element into the whip hose and you've tightened up your fittings, this is how it should look. This is your spacer, this is your temperature sensing unit. There is a green wire, it's a ground wire that's connected to the temperature sensing unit right here. Little Phillips head screw, that gets connected. Connect your air line. This is coming off of the temperature sensing unit, going back to the controller. Male and female, they go together. There's only one way that they fit together. At the other end of the hose, this goes to the gun. There are adapters, and these adapters have mesh inside to ensure that the element inside the whip does not protrude past and get into the gun or the ball valves of the gun and do not allow you to shut it all the way off. So the mesh inside these will stop that from happening. When you go to put these, to wrap that up, they have insulation for each one that goes on. You do both sides. There's zip ties, keep it all nice and tight together. And then Graco supplies you with a nice pretty cover to wrap everything. This side will get connected to the back end of the pump. This will connect to the heat controller, and so will these. It does not matter. A and B goes to which female connector on the box. It can go either way. This is the control box. This is your on and your off. It's preset. This is your connector going to the hose. These are your connections. I would say that this is for the red side. You get a new bottom plate. It has 3 holes in it. So the plate will mount onto here. You have screws. This will mount like that. And when you put the new plate on, it should look pretty much just like this. When you turn on the hose heat, you should have material in the lines, something to absorb that heat so you don't burn out the elements. Alright, so we're going to take the mounting plate on the control box. We're going to mount the plate to the box. All the screws are supplied. And this is a new cover, which is underneath the pump. And the 3 holes will line up. And then the plate will be up on the pump, which we'll do next. Okay. Ready? This cover comes off. There's 4 bolts, 2 on either side, 3/8 sockets, and this cover comes off.
You could save it if you want to put it back on, or you could discard it.
So when you install the new one, the face of the pump will be facing vertical on the front side of the pump.
Control it.
So this is the plug for the power. This is the connector for your temperature sensing unit. So you have your A and your B. The A side is the smaller side, which is on the red. The swivel fitting connects. And then your B hose. Be sure to tighten them up with a wrench.
If you are running your Vee Air guns or fusion guns, there's your airline setup already built in.
The connection for your temperature sensing unit. Pushes together, screw in the collar, and your connection is done. These will get connected to the box underneath your pump right here.